He has also wrongfully been accused as the guy who Aaron Rodgers carried to a Super Bowl. How many Super Bowls has Aaron Rodgers won without Mike McCarthy? Oh, 0. That's right. So I always feel like it was unfair criticism by Mike McCarthy. And I think Mike McCarthy has coached a good job, done a good job coaching, despite his name being, up for maybe getting fired every fucking year. This isn't a coaching situation. I don't think that Sean Payton can come here and fix this thing. It's Dak, and they need to start over, man. So if you're a Cowboy fan, man, I don't know what to tell you, but this to me was your best shot of making a legit run at the Super Bowl, and it just didn't happen, man. It's time to start over. Now we're gonna get into Championship Sunday this week, man. I always love this time of the year because it means we're close to the Super Bowl. But it's also kind of depressing because it means it's going to be 3 more games left before the football season is gone, and there's no football to watch till August. And that is not fun for us football junkies like myself because August feels like 5 fucking years away from now. But we're getting ready this weekend. AFC Championship game, NFC Championship game. Let's start off in the AFC, man, with a rematch of last year's AFC Championship game. We got the Kansas City Chiefs hosting the defending AFC champion Cincinnati Bengals. Like I said earlier, Joe Burrow is undefeated against Patrick Mahomes in his career, 3-0. And that was all 3 of those wins came last season. And the year before, streaming in from the year before, obviously, the year before and last season. Of course, they played in the regular season last year and also in the playoffs. So this is a team right now who knows they can beat them. And this is one thing that I love about this is we're starting to see rivalries, like real strong rivalries come back in these playoffs. And, of course, we always know division rivalries. But we had a lot of those this year. You had this one right now. It looked like it's a brewing rivalry between Mahomes and Burrow. We have a rematch of this. In fact, 3 of the 4 teams in the conference finals right now were in the conference finals last year. Only difference has been San Francisco is here instead of the Rams. So you can really see that consistency there. Not San Francisco. San Francisco was there last year. I mean, Philadelphia was here instead of the Rams. So that's really we're seeing right now, consistency with all these teams coming back here in these different rivalries we're having. We had the NFC East rivalry of Giants and Eagles coming up. We have the best rivalry maybe in football between the Cowboys and the Niners in history of football, which spans since the 70s with their 9th meeting this past week. So I'm really loving that. I think it's good for the game, and I'm really loving to see that this could be something where everybody was wondering could Mahomes and Josh Allen be the next Peyton Manning versus Tom Brady? This looks like this is more likely to be the next Tom Brady versus Peyton Manning. And this is something I'm really interested to see. There's a lot of things about this game that we got to talk about, but the number one thing is anklegate, something that everybody's been paying attention to. The status of Patrick Mahomes' high ankle sprain, which we all know about high ankle sprains, will take you out of commission for 4 to 6 weeks. And if this is the regular season, I'm 99% sure Patrick Mahomes would not be playing. He did not want to leave that game last week. He had to leave for a drive, and got to give a shout out to the backup quarterback in Kansas City right now for the way he came in there and really just took over the whole game and was able to just keep that team on the right level and being able to get them on the scoreboard, man. You got to give it up to them, Chad Henne, with his drive starting at the 5-yard line and getting them in there. And it's really calming the entire crowd, calming the team back. Everybody was panicking about Patrick Mahomes being injured. He led them right down the field with a touchdown to Travis Kelce. So that's why you always got to have a competent backup quarterback who knows the system and run it, because you never know when you're going to need one, man. So backup quarterback's really important. So you got to give some love to Chad Henne for going out there and being a pro, and he ain't played really all year, and just being out there, coming in a playoff situation and scoring a touchdown and having it right back up there for Patrick Mahomes. Now, Patrick Mahomes was a full participant in practice on Wednesday. And there was a little video that came out. People was trying to look at the ankle. You can't really tell from that. And one thing that I will say, the Kansas City Chiefs aren't going to give any type of, signs, of what he's really feeling right now. Patrick Mahomes know that the camera's on him 24/7. And so I really don't take much from the video we saw. Well, he's doing these exercises. He should be fine. High ankle sprains don't heal in a fucking week. So I definitely think that's going to be the number one story coming into this game still. And Vegas hasn't changed the line at all. The Bengals are still a 4-point favorite heading into Sunday. So I still think this ankle is a real big factor. It's actually a big factor in my choice of who I'm going to pick to win this game. Now, coming into this game, the Bengals are on a 10-game winning streak from their tough start to the season. They're the first team to start 0-2 and actually make the playoffs after losing the Super Bowl. So that's a big thing for them. They have not lost a game since the week of Halloween, actually on Halloween. So that's actually something very incredible. So they're coming here rolling on all cylinders. The offensive line did really great last week, despite them missing 3 starters at the moment. The secondary has been good, and they're feeling themselves. Of course, we know the whole little thing of Eli Apple going at it with everybody on the Bills this past week. And one thing I will say about Eli Apple, I know a lot of people didn't like his, the heart emoji tweet he put, which was basically, what they were doing with DeMar Hamlin. And by the way, for those of you who think that, that this DeMar Hamlin thing is like a conspiracy, get out the fucking house, man. Like, give me a fucking break. I tweeted that this week, and I had some of the biggest idiots on planet Earth in my mentions. Just get out the house, man. You've been watching too much YouTube. But I like this kind of stuff. I like when I see athletes go out there and talk shit. Now, of course, Eli Apple isn't the greatest cornerback. A lot of times he gets burned, but a lot of times he can be good too. And one thing that I love about it, he embraces the villain role. Now, of course, he put out an apology today, which we 100% know it came from his PR company. But I like that kind of thing, and I like that he wears it. Last year, when they lost the Super Bowl, people was going in with Eli Apple. He didn't bitch about it. He went out there and owned it. And I think as long as you are able to take it when it comes to you, I have no problem with the shit talking. And I love that Eli Apple is taking the villain role right now, and I really think it brings the edge to that Cincinnati defense, man. Also, like I said earlier, the Bengals have won 3 in a row against the Chiefs. So if you're a Chiefs fan, you're probably thinking, we're fucking due. And there's no way we should be able to lose 2 at home to these guys. And of course, last year, the Chiefs were actually up 18 points. And, of course, the Bengals came back with a great second half and won off a field goal in overtime, which is one of the best AFC Championship games either. And I don't think this game will be that much different as far as excitement. But to me, the X factor here for the Kansas City Chiefs to win this game is their defensive line, and more specifically, defensive tackle Chris Jones. They need to be able to put pressure on this injured offensive line. They need to be able to get to Joe Burrow, and they need to create pressure because with Patrick Mahomes not 100%, the defense has to step up their job even more. And this is a game also where I think we're going to see a lot more running. I think it's going to be like what we saw in the second half of the Jacksonville game. I think Andy Reid is going to run the football. That's something that this Cincinnati defense has to be prepared for, and they can't let Patrick Mahomes off the hook. I'm expecting a lot of blitzes. I'm expecting this pass rush Cincinnati to be ready. I will be going after that ankle every fucking play. They need to go out there and knock them out and be able, that's the only way they're going to be able to win this game. And just keep doing the things that they've been doing. Defense playing good. Defensive line playing good. The secondary playing good. And, of course, Joe Burrow being Joe Burrow. And all the weapons he has with Boyd and T. Higgins, who I hope will be not a Cincinnati Bengals. So, and, of course, Joe Mixon. So this is going to be a very, very competitive game. And I've gone back and forth about who I think is going to win this game. I just really am not confident that Patrick Mahomes is going to be able to be Patrick Mahomes with a high ankle sprain. Those are something that is just not easy to play on. In fact, he was limping the whole second half. And, of course, they're going to have a shot. He's going to have a shot. He's going to be drugged up. But I think in order to beat Cincinnati, they need Patrick Mahomes to beat Patrick Mahomes. And I just don't think that's going to be it. And I just feel like the Cincinnati Bengals are on a mission. I think they're trying to go out there and actually make up for the loss they had in the Super Bowl last year to go out there and take the championship. So I think the Cincinnati Bengals will be the AFC representative in Arizona in a couple weeks for Super Bowl. I got them winning 34-30 in a very competitive game, man. So let's go over to the NFC, man, between the number 1 seeded Philadelphia Eagles and the San Francisco 49ers. The Eagles coming off a blowout dub over their division rival, New York Giants, 38-7. I was not sure if Jalen Hurts was going to be healthy. Jalen looked amazing last week. The running game looked amazing. Everything about that team looked like the well-oiled machine they've been all season. And this one, I think, is going to be a defensive slugfest, man. But this is the 18th NFC Championship game for the San Francisco 49ers in the Super Bowl era. This will be the 8th NFC Championship game for the Philadelphia Eagles. This is to be their first NFC Championship game since they won the Super Bowl in 2017. The San Francisco 49ers have the number one rush defense in the NFL, which is going to be key because you have a team that is so RPO heavy, a team that runs the ball a lot, not just with their running backs, but also with their quarterback. This is a team that is not allowed a 100-yard game from anybody this entire season, and they did a really good job of putting the clamps on Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard last week. And of course, we know the week before how they did against Seattle. The Niners coming in with the biggest win streak in football right now on a 12-game win streak. Brock Purdy did not have his best game last weekend. You know, I'm so tired of the Brock Purdy narrative, man. It really starting to piss me off. And we're going to get into the NFL honors in a minute with the awards and, you know, his nomination, which I have a huge problem with. But Brock Purdy was kind of brought down to earth last week when he actually had to go against an actual NFL caliber defense. Brock Purdy had his first game with no touchdowns and his first game with a QB rating under 90, but he did enough to help them win the football game. Now, this is a game that I think is going to be won in the trenches. This is something we've seen this entire playoffs from every team that's involved. If you're a team that's trying to rebuild, specifically a team like my Chicago Bears, you're seeing that the games are won in the trenches between the offensive lines and defensive lines. We got two of the best here. We got a defensive line in Philadelphia who has a top 4 pass rush right now. Well, not top 4, the number 1 pass rush in the league right now. They had 5 sacks last week against Daniel Jones, and that good running offense. Of course, Brandon Graham has been great. They've got a good offensive line. Jason Kelce going up against Nick Bosa is going to be an amazing battle. If you're a football junkie and you just love to see two great lines go at it. And I think this is where the game is going to be decided. Who's going to be able to run the ball more? Who's going to be able to stop the pass rush more? This is going to be where I think the whole thing is going to be decided. And one thing about the Eagles, their secondary ain't too shabby either, man. Their secondary was ranked 4th in the NFL this year with 17 interceptions. They picked off Daniel Jones twice last week. So this is going to be an even bigger test for Brock Purdy, because as great as the Dallas Cowboys defense is, their secondary isn't up to par with what they got over there in Philadelphia. And also crowd-wise, this is going to be, I know that, this is the first time where Brock Purdy's on the road in a playoff situation. And those fans in Philly, man, it's a whole different beast. So he's really